Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm bringing you a video that's been requested a couple times. People want to know what are some of the books that I want in my collection but I don't have yet. And I'm going to talk about a specific subset of those because I realized a bunch of the bigger ticket books that I don't have in my collection right now. It's not just about the price, there's a specific reason why I don't have these books in addition to that. So I'm going to go all over that in a minute. But before I get to that, just real quick, I am currently running a contest for reaching 400 subscribers. I'm just doing a giveaway to thank all of you. I'll have the link to it down below. When I get to 400 subscribers, I'm going to do a drawing and I'm going to give away a mystery box of comics. It's going to be whatever junk I have lying around. I will try to get you something cool and tailored towards your tastes. Can't promise anything other than I'm going to try to get you a whole box of some cool comics that hopefully you'll appreciate. So all you got to do is just follow the link down below and ask me any questions you want. If you do that, you're signed up. All the rules will be in that video. That's basically it. So just go over there and check that out. Now, let's get to the topic at hand. So I try and keep things really positive here on my channel. I talk about all the cool things about comics. There's so many cool things about comics. The artists that I love, the characters that I love, the titles that I love, all the stuff I love to collect. There are some things that I don't like. Of course, I have, like most comic fans, firm opinions about things. I try not to do very many videos where I get into the negatives, but when it comes to collecting, I've got a few things that I don't like. And it comes up specifically because there's a subset of books that I'm missing from various parts of my collection because they're expensive for a reason that I don't care about. Now, there's several different things that I don't care about, but that other collectors do that cause these books to go up in value. And I don't want to pay a giant premium on a comic because someone else likes it. And I mean, that's just the way collecting works. But as a completionist, I'm trying to put together these complete runs. I want to get the stories, I want to get the whole thing. Whereas there's other people that collect differently and they just want to get things with specific, subsets. And so they cherry pick. And as a completionist, it makes it really difficult for me. Now, I don't mind something if it's a key that I actually care about. So, for instance, putting together my run of Avengers, Avengers number 57, the first appearance of Vision. It's a big key, it's expensive, but that's okay because I love the Vision. But there are several things that other people love that I don't, and yet because those comics are in the things that I'm collecting, I have to pay this huge premium to because of the demand for something that I find either irrelevant or actively annoying. Here's some things that I don't like in comics that have affected this. I don't like the Hulk. So I don't like the Incredible Hulk. I've never liked the Hulk. I don't collect the Hulk. I don't read the Hulk. I don't like stories with the Hulk in it. It's fine. It's fine. Other people like the Hulk. Okay, sure, I get it. Maybe you watched the TV show when you were 8 and for some reason you liked it. Fine. I watched the TV show when I was 8. Didn't really do that much for me, but I've never liked the Hulk. And that's totally fine. But when I was trying to put together my complete run of Journey into Mystery /Thor, which I no longer have, I didn't quite finish it. I got down to just 4 issues left, and I ended up selling the run. The one issue that I really didn't want to pay much for, but I had to, was Journey into Mystery 112, because it's the first Thor versus Hulk fight. And I don't care about that. I don't care about the Hulk, and it really aggravated me to have to pay 5 times as much for issue 112 as for 111 or 113 because other people like the Hulk. I did it, but that was an instance where other people's fandom was costing me money. But there's several that I don't have. So here's some other things that I don't like in comics. I don't like, again, I don't like the Hulk. I don't like stories that are set underwater, and that's just not comics. Like, I don't like movies that are set underwater. I just find stuff underwater for the most part, with some exceptions, to be boring, and I don't care for it. So I don't like things that are set underwater. I don't like stories about child versions of adult characters. I hate the X Babies. I don't like the Muppet Babies. I don't like Little Archie. And I hear there's some really great stuff in Little Archie, but honestly, I don't care because I find the central conceits to be so irritating that I don't want these cutesy versions. Adult characters look how cute they are when they were 3. I can't stand that, so I don't like those things. Here are some things, though, that have come up that have actually affected my collecting and caused me to have gaps in my collection right now. Another thing I don't like is these innuendo covers for Archie. Now, I appreciate some of them because most classic Archie covers have some level of innuendo on them. But what I don't like are the people that collect these covers that have double entendres or meanings that weren't intended, and they're basically just adults being perverts reading into innocent, comics for kids. And because they're pervs, I have to pay $200 for a random back issue of Archie that has no value. Some of these I've managed to get cheap one way or another, either in a lot or I found one in a store. As you know, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, I do not have issue 511 because of some double entendre that I don't think was intentional. I don't think it's particularly funny, even if it was intentional. It's basically meaningless. It just irritates me because that's the only issue I'm missing of Archie, to have issues 156 to 713, and I'm only missing it because other people care about something that I find to be stupid. I'm getting very negative here, but there's a couple other things that other big issues that I'm missing. Archie 511 is one of them. Jughead 79 is another one. Now I have Jughead 85, 84 and up. First series of Jughead ran issue 352. So I've got Jughead 84 to 352. I've got a complete run of volume 2, which is 1 to 214. And then I have a complete run of volume 3, which I think only lasted 16 issues. The upshot is I've got almost 500 straight issues of Jughead, but I can't go much further back because of issue 79. Because issue 79 was part of a brief era where they were doing a lot of sci-fi covers influenced by the popularity of like sci-fi movies in the late 50s. And Jughead 79 has the creature from the Black Lagoon on the cover. And as a result of this, if you go and look on eBay, usually there's none available. Right now, as I'm recording this, there's actually 2 available, but the cheapest one is $350 for a copy that's at best a 1.8. And there's no way I'm doing that. There's just no way that I'm going to pay hundreds of dollars for an issue of Jughead where the content is exactly the same as all the other issues, but because a bunch of film buffs and baby boomers that have nostalgia for the creature from the Black Lagoon, not Jughead, not Archie, we're not talking about Practice here. They're not buying it because of Jughead or anything else about the comic, except for it happens to have a picture of the creature of the Black Lagoon. Something that I couldn't possibly care less about. So I don't have that in my collection. There's a big ticket issue that I don't have in my collection because of something that's important to someone else driving the price up. In general, I don't dislike the creature of the Black Lagoon in the same way that I have these other things I dislike. But here's the other big one that I'm missing that does have something that I don't like. I don't like swamp monsters. I don't like Swamp Thing. I don't like Man Thing. I don't like the Heap. I find all of them to be boring. I don't get the draw of any of those characters. Oh, it's a muck-encrusted monstrosity. It's a pile of mulch with hands. Man Thing in particular, I find even dumber than Swamp Thing, because at least Swamp Thing, there's some sort of like pathos, right? Because depending on which origin is, there's a guy who got turned into a Swamp Thing or whatever. The guy got turned into Man Thing, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't remember it. Man Thing has like no cognitive abilities. He just shuffles around like a moron, like just drooling swamp gas. So I just do not like any swamp monster stories. And yes, I have read them. My introduction to swamp monsters was when I was a kid. I read one of the issues of, at least one, maybe two or three issues of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run as they were coming out off the stands. And you know what? I didn't like them because I don't like swamp monsters. And it's totally fine that everybody else apparently loves swamp monsters, except it means that I don't have a copy of Savage Tales #1. Now, Savage Tales #1 is a black and white magazine. I have a complete run of Conan the Barbarian, and I have most of a run of Savage Sword of Conan. That ran 235 issues. I have about 200 of them, and so I'm filling in the last 35. But before Savage Sword of Conan, there was a tryout in Savage Tales where Conan appeared in these longer form, black and white, more mature, more violent stories. And when that was successful, they then spun him out into Savage Sword of Conan. So he was only in Savage Tales for like 4 issues, I think. I have the other ones. I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. If he was in 5, I have that too. I just don't remember, but I have all of those. But I don't have issue 1. And issue 1 always had some value because it's Savage Sword of Conan #1 sort of like tryout book. So it's, important for that reason. And so when I was younger, I didn't pick it up because I didn't want to spend the money on that. But now people are also have realized it's the first appearance of Man-Thing. And so it's absurdly expensive. Like a low grade copy on eBay is going for like $500, $600, $700. And there's just no way that I'm going to pay that much money for Savage Tales. Now, would I pay $100 for it? Yes, I paid $100 for my Savage Sword of Conan #1. That seems like a reasonable benchmark. Am I going to pay $700 for it because a freaking swamp monster isn't a backup story? No. And it just drives me crazy that my complete run is incomplete because of something that has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm actually collecting. So there's if you wanted the negativity, there it is. And there's the answer. There's some books, some big ticket books that are not in my collection. I don't have the Archie 511 because I don't care about those double entendre things and I don't want to pay for it. I don't have the Jughead 79 because I don't care about the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I have nothing against that, but I don't have any interest in it. I don't want to pay $400 for a low-grade copy of that because of that. And I don't have Savage Tales #1, which is apparently a $500, $600, $700 book, even for lower grades, because I don't care about Man-Thing. And unless I won the lottery, I would never have that much disposable income to spend on the first appearance of Man-Thing. So that's the answer. So those are some books that I don't have, and those are some pet peeves of mine. Not even really pet peeves, they're just things that I find annoying, and it's totally cool because usually the fact that the X babies exist does not affect me at all. But in these instances, other people's interests are screwing up my complete runs, and I just refuse to spend the money on them. So let me know what you think below. I know I'm gonna get some people that love Man-Thing and they love Swamp Thing and they love the X babies. Maybe the worst thing that Marvel ever put out, X babies. I mean, it's at least 2 steps below Street Poet. But whatever, it's fine if you like that stuff. It's great. Just don't ask me to pay extra for that crap. So tell me how wrong I am in the comments below. If you have one of those issues that I'm missing and you want to sell it to me for 10% of the going rate because you sympathize with me, you really shouldn't do that. But I'm always on the lookout for these when I go to stores, and hopefully at some point I'll find some in a lot or something, or at some comic store where they're not aware of these ridiculous niches that are driving the price up, and I'll be able to get them at some point. But those are some of the bigger key books that I don't have because I'm not willing to pay for someone else's keys. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.